The Crazy Adventures of J. Thaddeus Toad. Our adventure begins at Toad Hall, the elegant yet eccentric estate of J. Thaddeus Toad. Toad, a playful and impulsive aristocrat, who has just acquired a shiny red motorcar and is itching for a grand adventure. His enthusiasm is contagious, and soon enough, we are swept away on his wild journey. The story opens with an idyllic garden party at Toad Hall, where Mr. Toad has invited his closest friends and the town's elite to celebrate the unveiling of his brand new, shiny red motorcar. The garden is adorned with colorful banners, tables overflowing with elaborate dishes, and a cheerful band playing jaunty tunes. As the guests mingle, Ratty and Molly exchange worried glances, knowing that Toad's impulsive nature often leads to trouble. Meanwhile, Angus MacBadger is fussing over the seating arrangements, muttering about keeping everything proper and dignified. The time comes for the grand unveiling. Toad, full of pomp and flair, leaps atop a table to deliver a speech. But as he pulls the cover off the motorcar, he accidentally knocks into a precarious stack of dishes. The plates teeter and crash to the ground, startling the guests and causing a chain reaction. Tables flip, drinks spill, and the band's instruments tumble. Amid the chaos, Mr. Toad, entirely oblivious to the uproar, jumps into his car to give an impromptu demonstration. Revving the engine with exaggerated enthusiasm, he plows through the garden, narrowly missing guests and decorations. His wild driving sends the remaining tables flying and leaves a trail of smashed food and flowers in his wake. As he speeds out of the garden gates and onto the open road, the guests are left stunned, and Angus MacBadger throws his hands up in exasperation. Ratty and Molly exchange resigned sighs, knowing this is just the beginning of another one of Mr. Toad's infamous escapades. From Toad Hall, the motorcar barrels through the picturesque English countryside, dodging farm animals, winding past windmills, and causing general mayhem. The cobblestone streets of London shimmer under the evening lights, bustling with carriages, vendors, and pedestrians. Suddenly, the unmistakable sound of a sputtering motorcar fills the air. Mr. Toad, grinning wildly behind the wheel, charges down the narrow lanes with reckless abandon. Out of my way, London. A true adventurer never slows down. Toad shouts, oblivious to the chaos he's leaving in his wake. Pedestrians dive for cover as carts overturn and a delivery truck screeches to a halt. Toad cackles with delight, his foot firmly planted on the accelerator. But his joyride takes a fateful turn as he barrels through the gates of a factory near the Thames. His car collides with a stack of barrels, sending them toppling like dominoes. What's this? A mere obstacle for a Toad, the king of the road, he exclaims, revving the engine for good measure. Just as Toad prepares for another daring maneuver, a spark ignites the barrels. The explosion rocks the city, lighting up the night sky in a spectacular display. As Toad drives off, seemingly undeterred and thoroughly entertained, he grips the steering wheel even tighter. London, you really know how to put on a show. Onward, to new adventures, he declares, speeding off into the smoky distance, leaving a trail of destruction behind. After narrowly escaping the bustling village streets, Mr. Toad bursts through the doors of a raucous English tavern. The barroom is a whirlwind of activity, with patrons laughing, singing, and clinking their mugs together. Toad, in his usual reckless fashion, weaves the motorcar through the crowd, knocking over tables, sending barrels of ale rolling, and narrowly avoiding a barmaid. The chaos intensifies as Toad accidentally crashes into the bar, spilling drinks everywhere. The bartender, a burly and grumpy badger, shouts in outrage and joins the other patrons in trying to catch the mischievous driver. Amid the commotion, Toad spots a window and makes a daring escape, crashing through it and back onto the road. The drive turns chaotic as Toad speeds through the village streets. narrowly avoiding pedestrians, smashing through a market stall, and alarming local police officers, who then do give
What were you
chase.
thinking?
Suddenly, the chase escalates as you careen into the courthouse. Toad is tried and found guilty of reckless driving and destruction of personal property. Our tale continues with Toad locked in a dreary stone cell after being sentenced for his reckless driving spree. Inside the dimly lit prison, Toad is not one to sulk. He's pacing his cell, scheming and dreaming up an elaborate escape plan. Meanwhile, Cyril, Toad's devoted horse, isn't about to let his friend languish behind bars.
You're on the chain gang this afternoon, Toad. Best eat your lunch.
Toad, working on a chain gang along a dusty rural road, under the watchful eye of stern prison guards, he's reluctantly digging ditches but, true to his nature, is grumbling dramatically about the indignity of it all. His fellow prisoners are equally disheartened, making the atmosphere somber until the end of the workday. As the guards begin herding the prisoners back toward the wagon, a commotion arises in the distance. Out of nowhere, Cyril Proudbottom thunders down the road pulling a hay cart. Close behind, Ratty and Moley catch the guards' attention with exaggerated antics and chatter, while the guards search the wagon and horse. Ratty and Moley quietly work to break Toad's chains. When the guards grow suspicious, Moley and Ratty scatter in opposite directions, causing chaos and confusion. Meanwhile, Cyril pulls the hay cart close to Mr. Toad, giving him a chance to leap aboard. As the guards frantically chase after the mischievous little varmints, Toad, now free, hoots with laughter and waves triumphantly from the back of the hay cart. Cyril gallops away at full speed, leaving a trail of dust and bewildered guards behind. In the distance, Ratty and Moley watch from their hiding spots, sharing a knowing grin before sneaking off to safety. Toad now back in his car thanks to Cyril. A frantic chase ensues through the countryside, down narrow corridors and out into the bustling streets of London. The thrill continues as he races through the city, weaving through traffic and dodging street signs. But before Toad can escape, the motorcar crashes, sending him into the surreal and fiery depths of hell. The infernal setting is chaotic, with devilish figures, glowing flames, and pitchforks. Mr. Toad finds himself surrounded by demons and towering flames. For the first time, he begins to reflect on his reckless behavior and wonders if he truly deserves his fate. Then he stands before Satan.
You have caused much mayhem, Toad. I am on it. And for this I will return to you, your car, but know this, that if anything happens to it now, and you will be sent to the lake where you will spend eternity.
As he wanders through the chaotic underworld, at least he had his car and didn't have to walk. One day, or is it night, it's so hard to tell down here, he stumbles upon a lady toad who is trapped in a cage suspended over a pit of fire. Elegant yet distressed, calling out for help. Mr. Toad, ever the showman, initially tries to charm his way past the demons guarding the contraption, but his antics fail. Determined to set her free, he offers his shiny red sports car to the demons. If only they were to lower the cage and set the lady toad free. By sacrificing his cherished motorcar, which the demons gladly accept as payment, knowing he will now suffer even more at the lake. And though it pained him greatly to part with his beloved car, he knew it 'twas the right thing to do. The cage drops, and the lady toad is freed, and together they were summoned to stand before the devil. He was outraged, angry as a beast. He snarled.
You gave your car to those demons. Now they can go wherever they please, places they should not be. And now your act of kindness, of setting Ms. Lady Toad free, means you can no longer stay here. For this is not a good place, nor a place for good deeds.
And with that, there was a mighty flash, and an even mightier bang. Then there they both stood at the gates of hell, as they opened before them. Mr. Toad and Ms. Lady Toad emerge from the gates of hell, slightly singed but victorious. Profoundly changed by the experience, he vows to be more thoughtful and caring, a promise he intends to keep. The Lady Toad, impressed by his bravery and sacrifice, sees the goodness within him, and agrees to stay by his side. Mr. Toad and the Lady Toad host a grand garden celebration. He and Lady Toad have sold Toad Hall, and are having one final grand celebration. Then as they start to drive off, in typical Mr. Toad fashion, the tablecloth had become pinched in the car door as it closed, and when they pulled away, they proceed to pull the dishes and desserts, the cakes and meats, the snacks and the treats, all fall to the ground. And as the tables and the chairs all begin to fold, the commotion causes the band to miss their notes and their beats. As the guests all look on, as though this is what they have come to know, the destruction of yet another grand garden party. Once again total chaos ensues. Thaddeus Toad and Ms. Lady Toad driving into the countryside completely unaware of the chaos left behind, and as they turn the corner and vanish out of sight, the last thing we see. As he turns the corner, the cloth hanging from his door gets caught on his neighbor's mailbox and pulls it to the ground just before it rips and tears away. As they both look back and wave goodbye, grinning ear to ear. And they lived happily ever after, totally unaware. The end.
That's the highway. I'll tell you the world.